It would be unfair to you if they keep reporting inaccurate information. Methods undermine the public confidence, which is essential to the continued function of the banking system. All right, look at this right here. I want you to look at number 4. There is a need to ensure that consumer reporting agencies exercise their grave responsibilities with fairness, impartiality, and a respect for a consumer's right to privacy. Now, I want you to keep that in the back of your mind, right? Just hold on to that in the back of your mind and just follow me real quick. We're about to go somewhere else. Just follow me real quick. Nelson versus Experian, Experian solution. All right, look at this. The Fair Credit Reporting Act provides that if a consumer contacts a consumer reporting agency to dispute the what? Completeness or accuracy of any item of information contained in the consumer's file, the CRA shall conduct a reasonable reinvestigation of the disputed information. The CFPB and the Federal Trade Commission filed an amicus brief arguing that this provision applies to consumers disputing concerns. Let me make this bigger so y'all can see it. Disputing concerns over what? Personal identifying information contained in the consumer's file, such as names, addresses, and social security numbers. The brief also argues that Experian's contrary interpretation was not based on the text of the FCRA, prior case law, or guidance from the CFPB or the FTC. Experian therefore should not be allowed to escape liability for failing to investigate the consumer's dispute. Dwayne, do we got Dwayne in the house? Dwayne, are you here?
Yes, I am.
All right, Britt, could you spotlight Dwayne for me? So, Dwayne, I heard a little birdie told me, right, that when Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax responds with "we cannot delete addresses tied to an open account," old information, is that true?
No.
Huh? Why not? Why do you say it's not true?
Because that personal information is also part of the consumer report, and it would be inaccurate if it wasn't reported.
Okay. Now, what gave you the insight based on what you're saying now, and how do you know that what you're saying is correct? What could you give as an example to corroborate what you're saying?
I just went through arbitration with Experian concerning my name, the misspelling of it, and the other multiple names that they came up with, and they said that Experian said it was not part of the consumer report, but the CFPB, the FTC, and the arbitrator said it was.
And from there, you were able to get a settlement. Now, I don't want you to state on here how much you got because that's between you and them, but you were able to settle the case with a nice check.
Yes.
All right. So not putting Dwayne's business out there, ladies and gentlemen, but the point that I'm getting to you is this. A consumer reporting agency will lie to you. They will give you misinformation. And if you believe them, you kind of are potentially walking away from a payday. Not because, how long were you disputing these accounts, Dwayne, before you got remedy?
Real time, it was about 8 months.
8 months.
But that was due to stalling tactics by Experian and AAA trying to get us to settle.
All right. And now what have we learned? We look past these these stall tactics. If you're being stalled, ladies and gentlemen, we're going for full action. We're moving beyond these stall tactics because we kind of know all of them now. So the point is not because you sent out a dispute and it came back and they said, oh, we can't delete it because the information is accurate or the information belongs to an open account. That doesn't make it true. It doesn't make it true that outdated information, I don't care if it's tied to an open account. Nothing in the FCRA states that if something is tied to an open account, it must remain on your credit. It says the information must be what? Accurate. So when you receive some of these stall tactics, ladies and gentlemen, a dispute letter like this, right? A dispute letter like this will get you right. So this dispute letter was made specifically to get negative items deleted, and it is built in a format that you guys will get inside the university. I'm just showing you guys what it looks like. It is a powerful letter enforcing the case law, and they must comply with this. If there is non-compliance when it comes to this case law, and let's say, Daraine, I wonder, what if you were in the market for a G-Wagon at the time and you got denied? I wonder how that would have gone.
That would have been damages.
It would have.
If I had applied for the vehicle.
Like, you see, when you know this stuff, so your next interactions with these companies, now you know how to prove damages. So if you are disputing round 1, round 2, and after round 3, ladies and gentlemen, because you're not passing round 3, if after round 3 they are not compliant, I am going to go shopping. Because like I told y'all before, I'm in the market for a brand new Mercedes-Benz AMG GLE Barbarous. Barbarous, but it's the top of the line. I want a Barbarous. I do. And one of them is going to buy it for me. I know I'm not going to buy it. Somebody's going to buy it for me. So the point is this. When you learn consumer law, you will see that things that, so Daraine, now that you know and you have a good handle on consumer law, do you believe that there's anything on your credit that you cannot delete anymore?
No, there's nothing that cannot be deleted.
As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. The things that you believe, ladies and gentlemen, they become flesh because what? If you believe you can, you can. If you believe you cannot, you cannot. Either way, you are both right. The question is, which belief system will you take and make a part of your identity? So that's personal information, ladies and gentlemen. Super easy. Round 1 letter should get everything deleted when it comes to personal information. Like, personal information is so easy that my 7-year-old son can send this letter out for me. It's that easy. And if they are playing hardball, we know how to get paid for personal information. Now, the next thing on my list is permissible purpose. Wait, you know what? Before I go to permissible purpose, should I go to inquiry first? These two kind of work together. All right, let's go with the inquiry first. No, I'm gonna go personal information. I'm gonna go permissible purpose first. All right. Permissible purpose takes a few different forms. There's permissible purpose in regards to CRA. There's permissible purpose in regards to creditor. And then there's permissible purpose complaint that you send off to the CFPB. How many people are tracking what I'm saying? There's permissible purpose where consumer to CRA, that's consumer to Equifax, TransUnion, Equifax. Then there's permissible purpose to consumer to creditor, your Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Crooked Car Dealership, Carvana, Ally Financial. Those are creditors or furnisher. And then you have your CFPB complaint. And your CFPB complaint falls into 2 categories. A complaint on a creditor and a complaint on a CRA. Is everybody following? It kind of sounded confusing. But when you guys are in the university, when you guys get this, like, it's super easy. Like for everybody in the university, like I just made these today. These are made today. So if somebody's going to say, Daraine, I saw that. No, you did not. I just made it. Literally just made it 2 hours ago. So you'll be seeing this for the first time. Now, the only person that might not be seeing 2 of these letters for the first time is my connoisseur people, because they were first dibs on this new inquiry deletion letter. And might I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this is an extensive one. So I'm going to show y'all something real quick. Let me show y'all something. Now, some of y'all, like when I tell y'all, y'all won't even believe me. Y'all will not believe that. Which one is this? No, this is the creditor. You know what? Let me start here. I'll start here. It's fine. All right. So when it comes to a creditor, right, there is things that must be done. And let's go over here. Let me show you where I'm basing all of the information from. 15 USC 1681B.